Hey everybody, I'm Chef Scott. This is Devil's Food Kitchen, and today is the second installment of this candy cookie critique. Here's the deal. I picked some candy from around the world, stuff I've never had before, and I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna critique it kind of from the angle of a professional pastry competition judge, which I have been in the past. I've been a judge with competitions, I've analyzed this stuff, and I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna try and figure out where each of these items is from by looking at the packaging, and I'm gonna award some stars, which, just to be clear, have no meaning whatsoever, no relevance. They mean something, just not to anybody but me. Last, I wanna say that I don't mean any disrespect to anyone, to their culture, to their country, to the food that they ate growing up. If I talk about a treat that you grew up with and loved, and I don't love it, I don't mean any offense. Just for fun, let's get started. We have three little delectables here. Bounty miniatures, which look like Mounds. Is it Mounds here in the US? Mounds coconut candy bars. And I'm really not a big fan of coconut, so off to a good start. Second, we have the Violet Crumble, the Nestle Violet Crumble bar. It's the way it shatters that matters. That means there's probably a way to eat this that I'm going to screw up. And then Settembrini con confettura di fici. Sorry guys, I just said I didn't mean to offend anybody. Settembrini, these basically look like Fig Newtons. And what I'm assuming is the Italian version. We're gonna start with the Bounty miniatures. Let's do it. Honestly, these could be from the US. I'm gonna say England though. I think they're from England. Oh, Netherlands. Product of the Netherlands. Well, yeah, you know, now that I'm looking at it again, that label definitely says Netherlands. All right. Well, these are a little larger than I thought they were going to be. Well, that's a nice little bonbon. This will be cool because I have judged lots of chocolate candies. I've made lots of chocolate candies. First off, visual representation. And, you know, I like the shape of these. The chocolate looks like it's been tempered properly. They've been jostled around a little bit, so like the shine has dulled out, so you can't really judge that. But just the sides of this, it's not super clean in terms of the enrobing. You know, there's air pockets there. So in terms of appearance, I'll give them a 2 out of 5 stars. Well, maybe that's a little bit harsh. Okay, 2.5 to 3 out of 5 stars. They could certainly be better. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. All right, and then we'll cut one of these guys just to see the build. So with the bonbon, I look at the outside structure, the shine of the temper, the quality of the enrobing, which is covering something in chocolate, and then you cut it away and you take a look at the inside. I mean, this looks really nice, honestly. The shell is pretty even all the way around, especially with the foot, which can tend to be kind of thin. And then you just have what looks like just, you know, shredded sweetened coconut on the inside. Time to eat these things. All right. Well, if you like coconut, you're gonna like these. So if you've ever had that shredded baking coconut, the sweetened coconut, this is like a minced up version of this. I don't like coconut, so, you know, that's a bit of a knock against this candy in my book. If this was the same exact filling, same flavor, but was blended smooth, a ganache or a cream filling, I'd probably prefer it. But again, if you like coconut, you probably like this texture, and that's what you'd be looking for. This is a large scale candy manufacturer. They have to worry about factory production and all of the little details of making a ton of candy, doing it consistently, and selling it cheaply. I get all of that. For all of those constraints, I think this is actually pretty good. The milk chocolate is good, it's enrobed pretty well. Coconut is a really strong flavor, and the milk chocolate's good, but it can't compete with all of that coconut in the center. This amount of filling is just never going to balance in flavor perception with all of that coconut. So I might add a thin layer of milk chocolate ganache in there, but then I think would help the overall flavor profile in terms of balance. So in terms of texture, I think for overall appearance, I give like 2.5, 3 out of 5 stars. In terms of texture, I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5 stars. I don't like the texture, and that's the subjective part of judging. I don't like the shredded coconut feel. I think they could have done more with that. And in terms of flavor, I'll say, you know, 3.5 out of 5 stars, which for me, not liking coconut is a big number. I think for what it's supposed to be, it does a really good job. All told, as a total package, I am giving the Bounty miniatures a 3 out of 5 stars, which I think is respectable. It's not aspiring to be a whole lot. It's just one bite, you know, it's one filling. I think it does a good job. It's not over the top in any component. It's not terrible. It's kind of like that middle of the road thing. I wonder if this is popular as like a movie candy. Do people do that in the Netherlands? Do they eat candy when they're watching a movie out? Not at home, but out at the movies. If you're from the Netherlands or you happen to know, let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'd be really interested to hear that. Because this kind of has a movie candy feel to me. Something small, other than that would not fly. Not in a movie with me. I am not gonna listen to that for 2 hours. So if they were packaged in a box, you know, unwrapped, it's the kind of bite that I think would work well in a movie. So Bounty miniatures, one and done. Let's get on to the next guy. Next up, we have the Violet Crumble. It's the way it shatters that matters. And I have heard of this, but I haven't any experience eating it. I believe this is from England. Made in Australia. Made in Australia. Ooh, fooled big time. Sorry, Australia. Sorry to all the Aussies. The Violet Crumble, it's Australian. My apologies. Okay, so the way it shatters that matters makes me feel, oh, this is already shattered. That does matter. So it would usually come like this. That's a large candy bar. Wow, that's a lot of chocolate. It's a lot of what I'm assuming is honeycomb inside. So there you go. You get the inside right off the bat. The temper overall looks pretty nice. You know, these candy bars get beat up so bad. The fact that there's any shine to this temper still is pretty impressive. So again, it's the way the shatter that matters. Nope, I'm gonna break this plate. Maybe it's just a break. That's hard to break. Wow, wow. You can see the honeycomb filling there, and we'll give it a shot. It's hard to appreciate on film just how dense. It looks like a solid filling, but it's not. It's super porous, minimal stick in your teethness. Now look, anytime you have something like this, a honeycomb, it just naturally sticks in your teeth. It's sugar that begins to dissolve and break down as soon as it gets into your mouth, and then it just kind of fits there. But this is minimal. I thought it was gonna be a lot stickier, and it's not. Some good dark sugar notes to that, like burnt caramel in a pleasing way. I would love to see how these are made. I would love a factory tour of this process. Chocolate's nice, you know, it's Nestle industrial chocolate, which is fine, it's good. So rather than chewing it up, I'm letting it dissolve on my tongue, kind of coating my tongue to get as much flavor reception as possible. So there is some actual honeycomb in there. That's kind of what I'm smelling, that depth, and there's just like hints of it. On visual inspection, it's not bad. I think 2.5 out of 5 stars for visual. It could be a little cleaner on the ends here. I imagine this honeycomb is hard to cut. There's some gaps here on the bottom, so I guess I would call that about a 2.5 out of 5 stars. In terms of flavor, 3 out of 5 stars. Texture, maybe 3.5 out of 5. I like that crispiness. It's pleasant. And then all told, I think the most I can give this is 3 out of 5 stars. And the reason being is you have to take some other things into consideration. It's too large. Like, I don't want to eat all of this. This is intense, and you know, it's very rich, I guess. It's a lot of sugar, and to eat this whole thing would be tough. And I think it lacks, you know, it lacks depth and texture. I get that it's a honeycomb and that it's not supposed to. The whole point is the honeycomb. I'm gonna have a lot of Aussies really upset with me. They're probably like, are you kidding? What does he know? And you know, the answer is not much. Just my opinion. What I know is what I've grown up with, which was certainly not candy bars like this, but I can appreciate it for what it is. That's why I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. All right, let's move on to the next one. We're gonna get these Italian Fig Newtons out of here. Yeah. And our last treat for today is this Settembrini, which I'm assuming is the name of a specific style of cookie, and then confettura di fichi, which is confiture or jam, fig jam. I don't speak any Italian, as you can plainly tell by my terrible accent, but you know, there's a freaking jar of fig jam here, so it doesn't take Columbo to figure this out. Obviously, these are from Italy. Mulino Bianco, Barilla pasta, which I know, so I would be shocked if these were not a product of Italy. Product of Italy. There we go. All right, so let's try these out. Okay. It'll be almost impossible for me not to compare these to Fig Newtons, okay? And for those that don't know, Fig Newton is basically the American version of this, even down to the shape. I love Fig Newtons, I always have. And when I was a kid, those strawberry Fig Newtons, oh, so good, so good. Inspection-wise, these aren't as cleanly produced as a Fig Newton. Fig Newton's very tight cut and everything, but I actually prefer this. The fact that these are kind of a little off, I really like. That being said, from a competition judge standpoint, I wish they were cleaner. So I'm gonna give them a 3 out of 5. It's a nice golden color. These also, right off the bat, feel much firmer than an American Fig Newton. Okay, so there's the inside there. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try. Those are really nice. The cookie is crisper than a Fig Newton, but not in an unpleasant way. Very delicate crumb, really light, not dry, not like biscuity, just kind of a little bit crispy, still somewhat soft inside. It's really pleasant, and the flavor is nice. The flavor of the jam is really nice. They don't look like that inside, but that's okay. Man, that fig jam on that photo looks good. These are good. I wish they had more fig jam. I'll say that right off the bat. If the ratio between this cookie and this fig was just a little more in the fig's favor, I think they'd be that much better. The fig jam is flavorful. It's definitely fig. I think these would be really nice with tea or coffee at the end of a meal. Texture, I'm gonna give them 3.5 out of 5. They're quite a nice texture. The only thing keeping it from being a 4 out of 5, a little too much cookie, not quite enough fig in there. And if it had just a little bit more of that fig, that would be an easy 4 out of 5. In terms of flavor, a 3.5 out of 5 also. What's keeping it from that 4 or 5 tier is that the jam could have been a little more intense in fig flavor. And I think if there had been more of it, then you would get more of that intensity. So it's really just about the build of this, is the combination of the cookie and the fig. Just not quite there, but overall really nice. I could also see this, just as I'm thinking about it, with some alcohol in it. This almost begs for a little bit of liqueur, something even like just a hint of brandy or cognac in this could be really nice. But you know, drinking. There you have it, folks. We had a pretty good trio here. I gotta say. We had this started out with the Bounty miniatures from the Netherlands. They were good. It was a middle tier candy for me, a 3 out of 5 because it did have pretty good flavor and texture if you like coconut. With the Violet Crumble, that for some reason I think I'm gonna get backlash on that analysis of it. And I mistakenly said was from England, and it's from Australia, so I'm not making any friends down there, although I'd like to. You guys seem so nice. But again, like a 2.5, 3 out of 5 for that. And then the clear winner for me today were these fig cookies, a 3.5 out of 5 stars. That would have been a solid 4 out of 5 if it had just had a little bit more filling compared to the cookie. It was just a little too biscuity for me, but I thought it was still very nice. You can't go wrong with any of these if you just need a little snack treat, especially a new one. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I would love to hear from you in terms of what I should be trying. If there's something from your home country or culture or something you came across in your travels and you think I should try it out, you'd like to know what I think about it, let me know. Drop a line down in the comments, tell me what you're thinking. All of you Australians out there, be nice. And until next time, I'm Chef Scott for Devil's Food Kitchen.